Hello folks and welcome to Minecraft. This time we are... Goodness, that's loud. I think I did adjust my volume slightly. Whoops. This time we are diving back into Bedrock. Make sure that that's working appropriately. Very good. Okay, we're diving back into Bedrock. Not to do either of the posted series, nor are we doing My Survival World, or even this first hardcore world that we've got here, but a secret, hidden, third thing. Today, I just wanted to mess around in a creative world with vibrant visuals stuff. See what exactly is possible before we start pulling out different things in the hardcore world. Now, I have here with me a new mouse. And so, first I will be testing with the current mouse I have. The seemingly cruddy one, to see if it was just a particular thing that it was causing so much trouble the other day. And then we will swap to the other mouse if it's either too much to bear right off of the bat or partway through to see, how it compares. Anyhow, gonna create a new world. Cheats. I want it... Oh, that on. Can't earn achievements, that's fine by me. I'm spawning off. Keeping off. Let the cycle off for now. Yes. Education edition, huh? Interesting. General... Visuals test in creative. Let's pop that on easy. Vibrant visuals should be on, yes. I believe it was before. Alright. Let's do this. Now, first thing. I admit I'm starting a little bit later than I intended. Not by much, but a little bit. I had trouble starting the game. Booting it. It, didn't want to. I'm not sure why. Anyhow. First things first. Mouse sensitivity is high. Not great. Keyboard and mouse. Camera sensitivity. Maybe half it. Okay, not quite that much. Let's crank that to... Okay, that feels about perfect. Now, I'm gonna have a look at water. Yeah, you can see the shadow in the water, updating as the sun rises. Okay. That's relevant to what I want. That's very relevant. lock. Oh, I typed. Day lock. Day lock 1. Tab. True. Okay. That should do it, right? Sun's not moving anymore? Okay, so... time set 100. There we go. Okay. Cool. The reason we set the so I can start playing around with shadows. Flatten out a little area here. Just casting that shadow. That tree? That tree. There we go. That will be this one. Right, there we go. Okay. The flying feels very odd. Actually, let's get a solid colored block here if possible. White concrete. Yeah, okay. That's not bad. Experiencing a little bit of input lag, it feels like. First time chat, Raider364 was up. Hello, Raider. How do you rate my setup? And by my setup, I mean the maybe... I've been here for, what, 9 minutes, perhaps? 8 minutes? I'm not sure. Not very long. I'm working a, oh, interesting. Okay. I'm playing around with vibrant visuals and shadows and such. First things first. What you building? First things first, I want to try out stained glass. Glass. I like vibrant visuals. Good, good, good. That's good news indeed. We'll take white and black and tinted and regular glass, and then light colored, and then kind of a darker colored stained glass, and we'll see how all of those react to the shadows. This does not cast a shadow at all. Okay, okay. Honestly, I prefer shaders, but both are quite good. Okay, and tinted glass doesn't cast a shadow either. But shadows go through them. Interesting. I'm crouching. I should be crouching. Does this not have crouching? Oh, that's so weird. What kind of music do you like? Well, right now you're listening to Celeste. Okay, let's see. Stained glass. It does not have an effect on the color of the light passing through it at all. Drat. Oh. I was still flying. I see. That's why I couldn't crouch. Interesting. That would have been cool for builds if the light changed. Yep, that was my thinking. No, right. Can't get rid of it that way. Oh, no, I can. It wasn't showing the stack size because creative, I guess? Okay, never mind. Okay, that's working as expected, I suppose. Interesting. Oh, but look at that! The sun's reflected in the glass. You don't get anything like that with... I mean, you kind of do. You see a little bit of the shine. But the... Interesting. That's very interesting. And peculiar. But that immediately brings up another question. Do you get that for other light sources? What about control? 1? Okay, odd. Do you get that for other light sources? The lantern shadow is the same as my shadow, which, technically speaking, doesn't... Well, hang on. My shadow towards the end there definitely does look darker than it does here next to the lantern. Interesting. How long have you been streaming for? Just about 19 minutes now. There's definitely some other sort of effect there that's being applied, it feels like. Something about the reflectivity of it, I guess. Okay. You can see the sun. Although I guess only on the pixels of the glass that are not... Okay, that's very peculiar. The perfectly clear ones don't reflect the sun at all. Interesting. So that is a property that stained glass has that regular glass does not. Okay. And I'm not seeing any reflection of this. You'd expect it to be about there, I suppose. Although, hold on. A shadow has been created both on the glass and on the ground behind it. Didn't see that before. Okay, so... it the same for this? It is very hard to tell, but I think it is. Yeah, you can see my shadow just sort of barely moving on that. But it's a lot harder to tell because it doesn't do it for the clear parts. Very strange. Okay. That is cool. I could do something with this. I'm not sure what. I mean, the shadow is a lot lighter on the glass than it is on the ground. How does that look for each of our different colors here? In comparison. Pretty cool. Pretty snazzy indeed. So hold on. It's not working on the tinted glass. You see that? You can see where my shadow starts to affect the texture. There. And it doesn't do it on the tinted glass at all. You can see through it to my shadow on the other side, but my shadow doesn't land on the tinted glass like it does on this. Interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna grab Copper Grade again. Because I want to see what difference that has. Because it didn't cast a shadow itself. We knew that from the previous experimentation. But hey, you can see my shadow there, and you can see it through there as well. So it works the same as the stained glass does. Of course, you can only see it on the pixels that actually... Interesting. Very interesting. And you can't see any shadow cast on that side. Very peculiar. Okay. Okay. Water. Time... nope. Time set noon. It's very subtle. I think my shadow is also kind of wavy in the space below. Okay, so hang on. I want blue. Okay, good. That's about the look I'm going for. But can I cast the proper shadow onto it? From something above. Yeah. that does so pretty effectively. You can see a little bit there, too. Interesting. At noon. You can see on that side? No. No, it's just a little bit hanging over there. Oh. Interesting. This is what the game considers noon, too. Time set morning. Okay. Day. There we go. That'll do. Yeah, you can see... Okay, hang on. I'm gonna try something maybe a little crazy. Actually, let's try it with both colors. Simultaneously. Actually, scrap all of these. Now this is very peculiar. You can see my shadow where I'm standing, but also below on the ground there. It's giving a very strange effect. I want to try something. You can see all three shadows. Where it lands on this top one. And that layer of stained glass there. And the floor below. That's so trippy. Ooh, I like that. I like that. Okay, but back to here. You can see where I am interrupting the wavy water light effect down there. Can I make a particular shape? What if we take glass? Actually, I'm gonna come out here to the middle of nowhere. Fill. light blue, blue, concrete. We'll fill this with these. Unexpected what? That's not supposed to be a space. There we go. And now we... swap this out for air. No, water. And change these up for 18s. Peculiar. That looks very strange. I like it, but I don't think that could be replicated very effectively. No, actually, yeah. We'll just pop up a couple. Glass. There we go. We can see all of it down there. And the bit where it cuts off there. You can see my shadow dropping down there too. Now, it's not very easy to see. I wonder time set nice. If I can create my own light source. That doesn't have the same effect on the water. It has to be daylight. Except this time, wrong coordinate. It was a guess, but you know. Okay, so this one gets set to 20, and this one does not. There we go. I'll just get rid of the rest. Presto. Ooh, it's thundering out. Okay, now we break one of these. And observe what comes through over here. Now, we can do something like OS. That is very stretched out. That makes sense, though. How do we fix that? Slabs. Okay, so that there cuts that down by a notable amount. What if I used snow instead? So we don't want the next one to be as tall, but we can't just cut it off from the bottom, now can we? Although, we could do that for the bottom, but it wouldn't work as well for the top. One more. That was two. It double clicked. But that's pretty good. Okay, that needs to not be quite so much. That's pretty good. That's an okay heart. Now. What if we were to take it a step further? See that? Not that well. You can see the bottom part of the stair, but not the top part of the stair in the shadow at all. Interesting. And that doesn't show up at all. Why? What if I do that? What happens now? It's like a full block. There's a vertical slab. That's so weird. This and this have totally different effects down here. This side, nothing. This side, all the difference. That's fascinating. I have no idea how to use this information. The possibilities are leaving me staggered. Huh. It's a lot better without that in the way, I think. So if placing a stair here cuts off the left side of one whole quote-unquote block in the water, I don't know what that is. Then shouldn't we be able to place that there and get a different one? You can't see it at all there. What about there? That's less. What about there? That looks like more. What about there? That's less. That's not visible. That's only cutting off a tiny bit there. Okay. Okay, so just trial and error, even, is an effective way to create interestingly cut shadows. I'm gonna break that. And replace it with a slab to make it look like how it looked in the original final art design, quote unquote. That's a block there. That cuts off, yeah, about a quarter there. What about something with an odd shape? Yeah, that odd shape is represented all right. You can see it over here as well, a bit more clearly. Pixel for pixel represented. I'm gonna try. Going that. That's a little brighter. So do you think there's a way that we could not achieving the desired effect. Not quite. But a fence gate, maybe. Okay. That's too much. That's not enough. carpet. Although, nah, that wouldn't really help, would it? Because the bit that would align would be the bottom of the block, which is... Yeah. No, if anything, that'd just make it look... No, what I would need is something that I can stick to the underside of a block that's skinnier, like a trapdoor, I guess? That works. Yeah, made that a little bit shorter. Now it looks slightly more curved. Now, can't help but think that something else would be better. Something between a trapdoor and a slab, but nothing's coming to mind. There are assorted things that hang, but... none of them would really have the right shape. I can put something that needs to be supported on glass or a copper grate or something similar that will not show up. So... if I had this... get rid of those. Didn't really do anything for the top. Like before, that's way too much cut off. Although, wait a minute. Wouldn't that be better? No, evidently not. No, that works. So this one. And something hanging down in the middle there, like a or a wall, or a fence. Fence. Too far. I think we're looking at a wall type thing here. Wall. Far. That's perfect. The middle fence didn't have any effect. Okay, so if I then mirrored that on this side. It's a lot more curves. That almost sort of works. Still too close. Can you even tell the difference there? Not really. You should be able to see the shape, right? Yeah. Well, hold on. That shape. asymmetrical. It's always asymmetrical. Why? Why is the shadow? Excuse me? It's coming slightly from the What? That's just different. What? This shadow is different from this shadow. This shadow is different from this shadow. These two appear to be the same. What? This game is frying my brain. The lantern shadow makes sense because you can see that chain link there. It is in the same orientation no matter where. So that would, in theory, affect the shadow. Because one of the sides is closer to the sun than the other. Of the chain link there. But this is symmetrical across the board. And not only are the shadows asymmetrical, they're different to other Shrieker shadows. That's the threshold. Why? Come on, place out. I see, you just gotta have good timing. What? These two are even different from each other. No, I did notice that before. But, like, the... But this is different from all of them. What? What determines that? What? Probably because it's almost directly in line with the sun. But it's not! No matter where you go, the sun is far enough away that it is going to be directly to the east. Hang on. Shortcuts aren't working. Directly to the east of you. I'm assuming east. Could be north. Not sure. This is Minecraft. If it was real life, it'd be east. The sun is far enough away that it is directly to the east of you, no matter where you go. It is not almost directly in line with the sun, as you have assessed. At least, not any more so than any of the other ones. What the heck? Also, hello, Plasma Rod. It's good to see you back. You're the Minecraft expert. I just play Destiny and The Division. I don't know if I'd say expert, but thank you. It's touching. I'm touched. I'm gonna replace this with white concrete entirely. Also, hi, hello. I'm talking again and not lurking. Huh? It's good to have you here. Could probably use trapdoors to have an effect on the shadow on the side. And unfortunately, I cannot do the same for the other side in the same spot. The way the trapdoor is opened does affect it. Not as ideal as I'd hoped. Similarly, this had a notably different effect when opened the other way. I would want something shorter. Hugging the sides just as much, but shorter and wider. Nah, I'm at a loss. Try signs. Signs would have the same problem as the trapdoors would. Whereas I could not place them directly opposite each other in the same block. Actually, here's an interesting question. Stacking two sides in a line not work? No. If I were to do that, one of them would be in this block space, and one of them would be in this block space, which would be ineffective here. Although... I don't understand this game, man. I don't understand it. Now, I did come up with an interesting question to test right now. Paintings. will a painting cast a shadow? It does. The Copper Grate casts no shadow. The painting does. You'd expect that to. But you'd also expect this to. Ugh. The hour grows late. I feel my strength sapping. I am rapidly losing visibility. The date is no longer powering me. I may have to call stream soon. But this was indeed an interesting experiment. I wanted to... Hang on. It's probably a thing where they couldn't code each individual shadow. Well, other things that have peculiar shadows seem to work just fine. I don't understand where the line is drawn precisely, I suppose you could say. I wanted... Hang on, if I go down to... Oil concrete. You can see how this looks, yes? I wanted to use this effect to try to visually recreate the stained glass prophecies that show up in Deltarune Chapter 4. Because I thought it would be really cool to have a base with one great big floor that's made out of water. And, hang on. Wait, not water. White. Let's see, this is not dissimilar to the, not dissimilar to the walkways that show up at certain points. These would be the walkways, but the rest of the floor would be all water. And then in the morning, you would get a shadow from one direction, which would show one prophecy. And then at noon, you would get a shadow from above, directly above, that would show a different one in the same location. And then at night, you would see a different one from the sunset. I thought that would be really cool. But the amount of effort that went into making this heart, and it still doesn't look quite the way I want it to, that base would take an insane amount of effort. And also, these are all really close to where this is. I think it would be viable if I just moved the pool of water down like around here. Ugh. But this is a lot of trial and error. A crazy amount of trial and error. Maybe having them angled like a staircase would cast a better shadow. How so? I'm sorry, I'm having trouble visualizing what you mean by that. It would be incredibly cool to have that actually pay off, but it's barely visible, which is unfortunate. I was hoping that perhaps I could do something to make it more potent, but sadly not. Now, that doesn't mean that I didn't learn a lot of cool stuff that I can do some interesting things with here. And also, not learn a lot of strange things that I don't know what to do with. As the case may be. But, yeah. This stream was very informative. Doing it smuck. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I think that's where we have to call it. Here it looks like a smiley face, which is funny. And that looks like nothing in particular. But then down here it's a heart. So, yeah, I can F1. Okay. Let me take off the follow plate for a sec. So I can... There we go. It's a nice shot, I think. Alright. See you next time. For... I don't know what. My mouse was not giving me trouble this stream. I don't know why it does sometimes and not other times. Off stream it seems to work okay, but then on stream it's made a fool of me twice. Regardless, I'm prepared. I have a backup mouse proper now. One that I can actually use to play games with, so... In theory, actually, I haven't properly tested it on my computer. Let's give it a shot. Sensitivity's a little low, but I can accommodate for that. In Minecraft, for example, I could turn the sensitivity up to deal with that. Anyway. Yeah, alright. Just gotta knock it around a bit, maybe. I'll figure it out. Next time, maybe Stardew Valley, maybe The Binding of Isaac. It depends. See you then.